a.m. Mondays to Fridays on Invicta 98.9 FM.
Perspectives,
All sides,
all views,
all individuals are welcome.
Good morning and welcome to the program Perspectives. Perspectives this morning reaching you on Invicta 98.9. And this morning we'll be looking at the state of the nation. 5 years in the life of this administration, and Nigerians have their stories to tell. What has come out from the promises that this government made to Nigerians when it was seeking to have their votes? Why did Nigerians believe that they could have a change by voting the APC government in when it, canvassed for their votes in 2015? Change was seen as the only option then, as the country was seen to have dug itself into a hole that only change could snatch it out. Are we out of the hole or struggling to get out? Or are we still digging in? These are questions begging for answers. The interpretations that we give to where Nigeria is today can only be given by analysts, commentators, and watchers of what is playing out. But Nigerians, as individuals, have their stories to tell. This administration promised its appeal to Nigerians then on dwindling fortunes of the nation's economy, the insecurity that was all pervasive, fighting corruption with the full wrath of the law, employment of teeming Nigerian youths. And these were promises of an El Dorado. Our Nigerians, as Nigerians, these were dreams that we all, could dream of. Where are we with Nigeria today? Still far from the ocean? Not yet Uhuru? Or still picking up the broken pieces of a scattered and shattered nation? Just where are we with Nigeria? For the first 4 years, this administration worked, so much to, meet up with its promises. And so when in 2019 we went back to the polls, we gave, another pass mark for it to continue working. But there are concerns still about where Nigeria is today, out of the woods or out of the hole or just still stuck in. And some Nigerians have been working behind closed doors to, come to the rescue. And as this gave birth to a new movement, that's the National Consultative Front, with the former Speaker of Nigerian National Assembly, Right Honorable Gali Umar Naabba, and of course, the former presidential candidate and founder of the Lagos Business School, Professor Pat Utomi, and with members, the likes of Professor Chidi Odinkalu, Comrade Issa Adamu, Dr. Yunus Tanko, all parts, of this movement and all worried about the state of the nation. I'll be talking this morning with Dr. Yunus Tanko, who is the publicity, secretary of this National Consultative Front, and why this movement has had to come in at this time. Dr. Yunus Tanko, good morning and glad to have you on Perspectives. Okay. Yes, just going into the program proper. Let's just look at what your take. The movement, National Consultative Front. What this movement will say of the 5 years of this administration, and of course we're still counting. Your thoughts here.
The thing about it is that for quite a while now, when we started discussing on the platform. A platform was formed, and the website platform was formed with eminent Nigerians to start thinking with some of the issues that you raised as an intro. We understand there's a lot of challenges in the country, so we decided to give it a toss. So we started discussion, the likes of Professor Diakalu, Patti Tony, Nagarina, quite a number of them, being our legal luminary, Salama, and the rest of them. The search for good leaders has been governing Nigeria for a very long time, and it has caused us a lot of agitation in the country. So it became a serious topic on the platform. And after we've agreed and discussed generally, a communique was agreed upon, and that communique was released about a week ago. It packed up a lot of issues, and we were not even expecting the kind of reception that we got from the Nigerian people. And our thought is that it's time for us to stand up, to challenge the situation that we find ourselves, challenge the leaders so that if they can make a little bit of changes before their tenure expires. And if they can't, then we need a change of leadership that is genuine and they can bring succor to the Nigerian people. And interestingly, we had a lot of people receiving this particular group, and we intend to move forward. We don't want a repeat of the past. Interestingly, majority of us have partaken in so many agitations. I remember with nostalgia, we started this particular movement for democracy against the military junta. We were able to survive it. We got a democratic system. Later on, that democratic system did not do exactly what we expect from them. We secondly went on the street again on the Save Nigeria movement. We got another leadership. We did the Occupy Nigeria. We got another leadership. All of this leadership have failed us woefully. And so, instead of agitation now, let us come onto the board and really try to change the attitude of Nigeria, especially where the area of attitudinal change needs to come in. The electorate too have lost faith, so therefore they have helped in conspiring against the state. When I say conspiring, because they always want to collect their own share before they vote for anybody, and that attitude has cost us money politics, where we end up having less quality leaders in the system. So all of this combined together make us to take our own decision in our life. Look, let us galvanize Nigerians to see whether we can make this particular change for the benefit of the country so that this country can move forward.
You talked about good leaders. Now, good leaders, what are you premising on when you say good leaders? What is wrong with the leadership that we have now?
You see, we at the moment now, there are a lot of promises being made and they have failed in this particular promises. I.e., is it on the area of our education? Is it in the area of the power sector? Is it in the area of security? Is it in the area of health? Thank God for COVID-19. Majority of them would have been flying out now to go and look for solution to the problem of COVID-19, but they cannot move because where they are going to, there are more pandemic situations for them than all that where we have at home. So they are forced to stay at home. So there's a lot of areas that has already lost a lot of grip when Nigerians are expecting to see that particular positive effect. Most disheartening is the level of nepotism in the country, where people now feel that the country has worsened. A large divide has happened within the country. There's no trust within the people. So, and then if there's no trust within the people, they cannot work together as one. If they cannot work together as one, the country will remain stagnant. And so we don't want that. A lot of us, some of us, have lost a lot of things because of this particular struggle to make Nigeria a very better place. So we feel it is time now to have those leaders, a new strength of leadership. People who have track record, people who have done a lot of things, positive thinking for the country. We have some of the best of Nigerians staying outside the country. Because of what? Because the country cannot provide what is simply necessary for survival in this. I make analogy to the reference point of what Zachary one of the producers in CNN, who make it very, very clear with the level of backwardness in Nigeria, but the best of them are in America and other ones building that particular country. We need to deviate from that and choose. And those are the reasons why.
But how do you intend to gain the trust of Nigerians? I'm talking about trust now because, just looking at, what is happening now, Nigerians would say that they've lost trust with leadership. And so we are all, operating on individual basis and, of course, regional basis and, of course, all ethnicity and all the things that divides us as a nation is playing out now. But getting us together and saying that you want a united front, how's the National Consultative Front going to go about it?
Good. This has been a very recurring question, and I agree with Nigerians. After all, we've tried so many, they failed. So how can we trust you now? And what is the resonating solution that you even have, that we have? One, we come to understand that majority of our leaders give to Nigerians what the leaders think the Nigerians deserve. That cannot happen. You cannot you go to somebody's house and then you will bring your idea and say, this is what you need, so let me give it to you. Meanwhile, the person that is inside the house knows what he needs. It is what the Nigerian people need that we will give. We can tinker within ourselves, agree on our issues together, and make that particular change that will be agreeable by the leaders and the people themselves. There have been serious agitation by a lot of people with regard to the constitutional reform, which we need to look into because the people have been demanding for certain areas to change certain situations. We must look at it. What have we done about the youth unemployment? It's an issue that has been raised for a very long time by the Nigerian youth. What has been done about the manufacturers industry with regard to industries in this country? The Manufacturer Association has been clamoring and talking about it. Nothing has been done. What about the agricultural sector that probably people may think a lot of gain has been made in this country? What about the issue of job unemployment for teeming Nigerians apart from this empower that is being done scientifically? These are some of the areas in which we need to gain the trust of the Nigerian people directly, because those are the things that concern them. The issue of security is paramount. Yesterday and then for yesterday, 15 people were killed on a farm in Kaduna State. That is the state of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And the killing continue on every day. The Southern Kaduna people have their own issue to raise. Northern Kaduna people have their issue to raise. Northwest have issues to raise in Zamfara. The killing is unprecedented. What about the situation in the Northeast? Boko Haram is still ravaging the country in certain areas. And yet we still kept our service chief who have continued to tell us stories. From the beginning, they told us that they are going to give us, like, they give them 6 months, that they are going to evacuate those Boko Haram people. But today, this is the 5th or 6th year. Nothing has been done. We only keep on having stories and beliefs. Unfortunately, there is this particular defensive position the government take. Anything happens, and then there will be argument back and front. Recently, the chief officer who is supposed to arrest everybody for corruption, he himself has been arrested. And arrested in a way that when he was arrested and now people were saying that he was arrested, the people that are supposed to arrest him keep on denying. Now the man has been sacked. So how can people trust the situation of a government in that manner when you cannot own up to your action that you are taking, bad or good? So these are some of the things we are ready to listen to the people. This is the key word. Listen to the people so that you can make correction in the area they have interest in. And we don't want to have a divided house where we have nepotism everywhere. That is why the members of the Consultative Front are from every nook and cranny of this country. We have Igbos, we have Yorubas, we have Hausas, we have Indians, we have everybody that is interested in this country is a member. If you believe in this country and you want to make a positive change, you are a member. So this is the ways in which we intend to get the trust of the Nigerian people. And they have to own the system. It's not going to be one person, one or two person. No. You have to partake in it. And owning the system means that you too have to contribute a little quota. It doesn't matter whether it is money or anything. Just anything that you can use so that we can get out of this particular situation is what is welcome by us. We are only holding the system leadership. By the time it's over, everybody can own that leadership, and then Nigeria can be better off.
Dr. Eunice Tanko, what we see playing out, we see the implosions of, in the parties that we have on ground. We also see what is happening to, Ibrahim Magu today, arrowhead of fighting corruption. But again, the power blocks that have been talked about. The Presidential Advisory Committee on Corruption talked about a power block, that is playing out at the presidency. What will change? I mean, you are just having a movement now, and we're hoping that it will metamorphose into a party. But again, will the clothing change or the people change? What is the things that we will see about, all the actors on the political scene?
For a very long time, what is happening with the ruling party is what we expect. It's just that it's a headache that is there in the party that they've been managing taking Panadol for long. And you can't have fever, and you continue taking Panadol. By the time it will bring you down, you'll be surprised. So that is the situation in which they have now at the moment. And that is because there was no fairness within the system that they are leading at that time. You remember I made a statement here on an interview here when I was telling you about the divide in APC, about 5 of them which have gone to the market, and only 3 of them are benefiting from that particular gains of the market. And that is the situation in which they find themselves. And so until they are fair to themselves before they can get their head correct, and that has affected everybody within the government. So on our own, we understand that with Nigerians, as I said, are ridiculously patient. They have given enough time for this government to show their direction. The direction is that this government has lost a lot of focus. They know very well why they were brought in, because the former government messed up and everybody agreed to it. And so we needed a new lease of life that would direct the country in the right direction. But they too, instead of being focused, they let the problem overwhelm them. Internal problem within the party, and then external problem which is in the country. Amazingly, up to now, Nigeria is talking about a continued collection of debt. I learned that the Minister of Finance is still telling Nigerians that we will continue to pay, we will continue to collect debt. If you watch the analysis that was done by Sahara Reporter as regards to the lot of money that continues being spent in a refinery, and yet not single kobo is being brought in, especially of Kaduna and Warri and all of those ones. They are seriously in debt, but nothing is coming in. We continue refining our products outside the country when we were told that the 4 refineries will start working almost 6 months or 1 year in government. Those are the things that led people to lose hope and trust. When you make a false promise, you won't be able to assess what before you make that particular promise, so that you know that you can deliver on those promises. Unfortunately, they didn't do their own feasibility studies, and the same as the situation is going, it is overwhelming them. You cannot, when you talk about Magu, for example, Magu's situation has been on for a very long time. They didn't want to even confirm him in the National Assembly because of their internal struggle. And some of the rumors that was going on within the vineyard of governance is that Magu has information as regards to some of the leaders in government. And some of those particular leaders, they don't want Magu to reveal some of those particular information that he has. They try to tame him down. This particular issue has been on for about 2 or 3 years. Now the accusation is that between the Attorney General of the Federation with Magu himself. And then who will the president listen to? Unfortunately, they have evidence, as they say, against Magu staying in a house of 40 million naira, being sponsored by an alleged corrupt individual called Mohammed, who traveled with Magu to his hometown for a particular program. And then they are using, that Magu is using him to siphon all kind of money. This is unbelievable. It is unbelievable. So, which one? If you have, with the level, due respect to Mr. President, with the level of integrity that is attached to his personal person, when some of these particular issues are being raised before it gets to this level, you will have made a change. We are waiting. Everything has gotten so bad to this level. And that's the same thing that is happening to the chief of staff. And every Nigerian has been complaining. Even the soldiers themselves are complaining that their leader are changing them. Yet we have not changed these people. Until probably when Boko Haram or any other person have taken guns and everything to the villa. Maybe that's when they will start believing. Anyway, guns have started going on in the villa itself. You know? So this thing has gotten to a rotten level that we don't even know what will happen the next day. And when it happens, we then accept it or deny it at the same time. And we can't go on like this. We just can't.
This is a comparison that I find difficult to make, but because we are practicing the presidential system of government, copied, so to say, from America. Now, with the Americans, they have this saying that the buck stops at the president's table. And we have the Republicans and the Democrats, all trying to, outwit each other now. But we see that Trump, as the president of America, comes out very strong, not because he's a Republican, but because he's an American. And so whatever decision he takes would be about the American people. Back home here, is our president losing grip over, his control of power or, what, comes to his table?
I don't even understand whether the grip was there in the first place. Yes, because if you have problem, even internally within your own household, and your wife, who's supposed to be your best advisor, kept on coming out of her own bedroom and telling Nigerians that where are the men that things are getting worse, then where is the grip in the first place? So it didn't even exist. Unfortunately, it didn't. So we were being governed by a group of individuals who come from the same cocoon with Mr. President. And so advice that's supposed to be around the nation was not even given to him in the first place. And it's such a person that when he gives you a trust, he will want to see you extinct that particular trust before he lost faith in you. And that doesn't work in politics. That is why you see Mr. Trump is different from our own president. The moment you mess up on one word, when you're supposed to use an A and you use a B in it, you are gone. In fact, he doesn't even wait for protocol. He sacks you from his Twitter. Because he wants something done the way he wants it. That is where you have a grip. In order to deny his own position, he may be good or bad. Whatever statement he makes, he own up to it that this is what he said and this is what he has done. That is when you have power and grip. All the powers are there for Mr. President for him to use. If people that are messing up, let them be sacked, and so that he can gain his own respect and continue to have the integrity that Jadija have in him. But at the moment now, a lot of them are losing this particular faith in him. So for us, if the grip and the decision making have been firm, have been fair, have been acceptable, will have been acceptable to Nigerian people, there wouldn't have been any agitation. It's because those particular fairness, nepotism, and all kind of divide has reigned supreme in this government. That is why the agitation is already on. And I can assure you, it may not be only us. There's a lot of people who are working different angles to see that there's going to be a change. Because the moment Mr. President is gone, that party will not survive this particular hurricane coming towards it.
The program is Perspectives this morning, and we're looking at the state of the nation and what is happening with the state of the nation, drawing concerns from all over. The National Consultative Front is a new movement, and they came with Nigerians, are coming together to say that they are really concerned about what is playing out in the state. And I'm talking this morning with Dr. Yunus Otankwo. You recall Dr. Yunus Otankwo was also a presidential candidate of the National Conscience Party. He is part of this movement now as its publicity secretary. And we're, talking about what the front, the National Consultative Front, with the likes of Gali Umar Abba, Comrade Issa Aremun, Professor Chidi Odinkalu, and a lot of Nigerians, eminent Nigerians who are coming together to talk about the state of the nation. We'll come back, after this break. Welcome back. Here's the program Perspectives this morning, and then we're looking at the state of the nation and, of course, talking about the National Consultative Front, a movement that's been created, with its concern on national issues and, of course, the state of the nation. Dr. Yunus Otanko, I'd like to go back, and this time going back about, again, what, may be playing out on the political scene. The Northwest is having its show now with the APC, and we're talking about whether it will have to move to the Southwest, this time around, or to this, to the South or Southeast. These are concerns also at the National Front. But again, I'd like to take you back to what Zakaria Fard has said about a country called Nigeria, where it has all its best hands, all over the world, and yet back home it is corruption, and of course killings on the streets and in our villages and all of that taking place. Now, we're talking about, where it will go this time around. Is Nigeria turning into a country of turn by turn?
Not really. This turn by turn is a creation of probably some of the party whichever find itself in power. Remember, when it was PDP as a political party, there was the same agitation by the northern part that we are supposed to take over leadership and all. Now the party that is in power now is APC. Now other people are agitating for Eastern presidency, as the case may be. So the creation of agitation for whoever political party is in power, but constitutionally it is not there. But that is not to say that any other part of this country does not deserve the right to lead this country. Our position is very, very clear on this issue. Our position is about merit, not only merit, but anybody that has the capacity to make that effective leadership that we are yearning for. For us, the key word there is effective leadership that Nigerians will be very, very much happy with. And that does not mean that it's only in the Northwest or in the Northeast or in the Southeast, Southwest, South, or North Central, as the case may be. What we are actually asking for is that Nigerians of good quality should come out to run for the leadership of this country. And that the person or people must come together in such a way they can unite the country accordingly. Because as I said earlier on, the country is being divided. Yes, I agree. The most hot on the table is the issue of the Southeastern people ruling the country. And I keep on saying that I am an advocate of that particular quest. But at the same time, I have challenged my own people in the Southeast that they are not playing politics that will endear trust in the minds of the Nigerians. Because there's a general opinion that they are more interested in succession rather than leadership on the country. And probably they felt that they can use that as a tool to get that particular leadership as a form of challenge to the country. But I feel different because these are people that are very brilliant in terms of getting into the country and doing what they know how to do best, which is trading. And there is nowhere in this country that you will not find a Southeastern person, even though looking at their population, they are nothing compared to the Northwest. They are so effective in doing their businesses all around the country. If that should be the case, then they could have used that as a tool to endear their heart in their activity in the heart of the Nigerian people. That would have been much easier. But I think they have the capacity to lead this country, and then what they needed to do is play the Nigerian politics and be a Nigerian. That will endear trust within them, so that whenever you see your own brother in the Southeast, in the North, you know he's your brother. And when you see a Yoruba man in the North, you know that he's a brother. When you see a South person in the Southeast and all, you know that it's your own brother. There's no any form of divide. That will make it easier for people to vote so that en masse, so that they can get the. And I know very truthfully There are people of integrity, people of virtue, people who have shown love for the country. I can specifically mention names. People like Ogunleanu have been a very brilliant Nigerian who has had faith in this country. Ben Obi is there. There are quite a number of them. And like I told you now, in the group we have Odia Kalu and all. We are talking Nigeria. And for us, anybody that will talk Nigeria, he is welcome, irrespective of where he comes from, whether religion or tribe. As long as he can put Nigeria out of the way, it's what is welcome to us.
Well, again, I'll still go back to Zachariah part of the CNN, GPS producer. You described Nigeria as a nation of contradictions, the best of brains all over the world, and doing so well, wherever they find themselves. But when it comes to the, absurdities too, you find Nigerians topping the chart. Poverty capital of the world. We're talking about fraudulent activities all over the world. Nigerians also, on the charts. Now we talk of where corruption, is all over the place, and ease of doing business, not what Nigerians can still hold on to. Talking about out of school children, Nigeria again, one nation to refer to. So these contradictions about this country, just like tracing back and where it all started, because you talked about good leadership, I would just be wondering could we just trace it back to this unholy marriage that has put us together as a nation?
Well, you see, whether you like it or not, there's nothing like an unholy marriage. The land itself is only human being that divide it, but God never divided any land. To him, it's only one land. You understand? So, but when it comes to coming together as a people to work together, remember, Tony, way back in those days, we were working together as a people, even though before the Biafran War comes up. A lot of us, after the Biafran War, started melting together, believing in each other. Before the advent of corruption now take full effect. It was the corrupt tendency, lack of fairness. So imagine if we have, after the civil war, we have continued in the light of being our brothers' keepers, taking interest into what each of us do and how we survive. Do you think we will have this particular divided head? No. I gave you a story on how we live in Kaduna at a point in time. I'm a Muslim. I live together with other Christians. In fact, I accommodated Christians and who are Igbos. As I speak to you, I'm an adopted son. Even when I lost my father, I'm an adopted son of the Igbo people. In fact, they gave me a chieftaincy title called Unwanuku, the number one. There's nobody in this country that gives easily title like the Igbo people in order to show a kind of a cohesion. There's nobody in this country that accommodates so much like the way the Hausa do. There is nobody in this country so much that give opportunity for business that the Yorubas do. So these are strengths that we have as a people. But some people, because of their personal interests, continue to divide this country the way they do. So we need to do a SWOT analysis of the country called Nigeria. A case in study is what were some of the areas of negativism that happened to Nigerians that you just mentioned. People like Manfa and Horse Puppy and the rest of them. But you hear Horse Puppy telling you about how his life has been reformed, using his capacity, intellectual capacity to end up into 419 and the case may be. But he said that the level of poverty drove him to have thinking that he has that capacity to become what he is today. You understand? So if we have positive capacity that some of them being used for negative interest, we can convert them for more better use as a country. I sat down and I listened to some of the people who engage in 419 and they were telling us that, look, right they seated, they can hack into your phone, they can hack into your system, they can get all kind of information that these kind of individuals that are used in America as security agents for the benefit and defense of their country, and they are paid very good because it is an intellectual gift that God has given them, but it can be turned to a positive use. But we don't turn it into positive use. We allow these particular people to go deep into looking for survival for themselves because we are not using them the way we ought to use them. So leadership is what is lost in that particular area. In terms of some of the areas in which you have mentioned as regard to areas of education and all, how many have we put into school? The way we put them into school, what kind of living? I was a product of public school, but today public school is it cannot imagine. Some don't even have chairs to sit down. It is shadow of his own self, and you have to pay through your nose to be able to get your child to school. 50,000, 60,000 for people who are earning just 50,000 naira as salary in a month. How do they do that? So the system is decayed in such a way that we are not thinking about the poor people to give them hope so that they cannot contribute to the society. These are areas in which we have problems. So we have to divert our attention. You can't imagine if you go to a police station looking for somebody to save you from a problem, you end up becoming the victim. These are some of the areas in challenge that we need to really deep into. And we can't allow the system to collapse because it's near collapsing at the moment now.
And that's what your movement is all out to change, right?
That is exactly what we are out for, a rescue. We are out for a rescue. We can't allow the system to go. Look, you can't imagine in some areas people don't listen to women, but we need to listen to the wife of the president. She challenged the Nigerian leaders. She said, where are the leaders? Where are the men? Things are going bad. Where are you people? There's a cry from the highest level of our country. So what do? Do we keep quiet? We need to come out and then rescue the country. And that is what we are specifically doing. We have no particular interest apart from making sure that this country survives.
Okay, let's go to the audience, Dr. Eunice Tanko. Let's get to the audience, get to hear their thoughts too.
It's all right.
With their questions.
It's all right.
All right, and the numbers to call to be part of the program. We're talking about the state of the nation, concerns coming from all over, and all, with one voice of saying that we must keep Nigeria united. And so today we have a movement, the National Consultative Front, a movement that is in place, eminent Nigerians in that movement, and all they're out for is to save Nigeria. So let's get your thoughts here. 081 40,000 989 or 070 87 989, 081 40,000 989 or 070 87 989. Hello, good morning.
Hello, man.
Good morning.
It's on the line.
Who?
Ogunwale is on the line.
Ogunwale, let's hear you.
Yeah, blessed. You see, the problem we have in this country is one, religion and tribals. And who are the genesis of this problem? It's our leaders. They were using this thing to divide us. Look at the regime of Obasanjo. They carry everybody along. So look at this present regime. When they remove Hussein, they put Hassan. Where are we going, my brother? And the women will need unity. Let me tell you the truth, my brother. Let me tell you the truth. In Nigeria, it's already divided. It's time we talk, time we tell. We cannot be one again. Because our leaders are not given room for that. It's only God who will help us. Bye-bye.
Well, we'll look up to the good side of it. Okay, that's Ogunwale. Let's get, another thought here. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning to you, Nabi.
Good morning.
Good morning to your guest.
Yes.
I'm comrade to the Texas man.
All right, comrade.
This movement is overdue. We expected it earlier than it is, but by the grace of God, we are praying that the people who unite themselves to bail Nigeria out should come together and be sincere to themselves. As I'm speaking to you now, 18 years. In fact, when the governor of Kaduna was in campaign, I was in his back when they promised that Texas would be opening. Over 170-something Texas, even common mosquito net is being imported from outside the country. So I don't know where we are. Like I'm speaking to you now, 18 years ago, our Kaduna Texas Limited and Foundation closed down. Most of our cloth is coming from Ghana. So we want a movement like this to come and revive all these industries and give Nigerian jobs.
Okay.
The refineries are not working. Ajokuta still not working. Nigerian Airways is not working. So many things, in fact, have gone wrong with this government. Let us be sincere, and many of us will be fully in support. Especially, I'm sure Daniel Musa is among your members. So let them come out and survey Nigeria because we are really, really suffering.
All right, Comrade Gabriel, we got you. I'll take one more
Thank
call
you,
and then, okay, Comrade Gabriel, take one more call. I'll come back to our guest. Hello, good morning. All right, okay. So, hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you very much. Thank you all of you. Good morning. My name is Musa Bala.
All right, Musa Bala.
Yes, I want to welcome Uncle Fa and quickly, I had him talk about the Magu suspension. All I can say about Magu suspension is that I want to congratulate people like Dizeli. She can start packing to come back home. And for Donatiti that his death was just...
Sorry, Musa, who to come back home?
Yes, she should come back home now since Magu has been suspended.
Okay, who should come back home?
No, I said let her please come back home since Magu has been suspended because Magu is after her.
Okay, all right, okay.
And and then I said, and for Donatiti, his private jet has just been seized. I'm just so sorry for him. And for those who bought NEPA and they've been changing documents, they should also have some relief. Other Nigerians too, who don't have jobs, should also have some relief. But we should understand that all these industries we've been mentioning, they collapsed during last administration. But by the time that we don't hit our target at the right place, that is when we get it wrong. How can we be blaming this government for not putting TESAL in order when we saw the collapse of TESAL from 1999 to 2016? Is it easy to get this collapse and then bring it when the crude oil is even down? In order for us to put our hands together to ensure that, okay, we need to sacrifice ourselves, all of us, check the problem and push it. We will just be deceived by some people and then we blame other people. I don't think with this kind of arrangement we can go forward. I wish the committee a very nice work. We are waiting for them, even though in this we have not had them giving us any one solution way out. They just help us to mention the problem as usual. Good morning.
Okay, thank you, Comrade Musa. Okay, sorry, Musa Bala. And I'll come back to you, Dr. Yunus Tanko. Ogunwole there, saying the country, is divided now on religious and, on ethnic lines. And, of course, Comrade Gabriel talking about the textiles, especially the manufacturing industries, gone down. Musa Bala, saying that he wants, so many things that have happened with this administration does not start with this administration, that it was all, a hangover from what we had, in the past. Your thoughts here?
Yeah. Let me start with Musa Bala. I sometimes I get really pained when we keep on repeating the same issue about this particular blame game. The reason why Nigerians voted for this government was that they were able to establish that there were endemic problem in the system as regard to the issue of corruption, economy, security, and whatnot. That is the reason. And then when they were voted in, the reason why they were voted in is for them to make correction in these areas. Simple. So we don't expect them to have similar problem already, and you keep on shifting the blame on the past one. The past government has already taken its punishment by people reading it out. We all agree that they have an abysmal performance. We all agree. But then when you come in, you're supposed to make that particular. You don't change the leadership now to expect the same leadership to have the same problem. No, you expect the leadership to have a different angle to the problem and solve the problem. That is the reason why. And so when you hear people, with all level of sincerity and respect, you yourself would have said you've given this particular government the timing that you need. This is 5 to 6 years already. What are the solutions that have been put to problems that have already been existing in the past? I agree totally. There were problems in the past. That's why we have them there to make solution. They have not been able to do anything. There's no focus. There's no even solution in sight. You are asking us now. We too are struggling so hard to ensure that we give the solution that we need. So we don't need this particular blame game anymore. We need solution. Take a look at Obama with regard to him and Bush. Bush brought the American country into it. Not for one did you ever hear Obama talking about Bush. He never even talked about him. What he faced was, how do I solve the problem? That is the kind of leadership we want. With regards to Gabriel, I personally went around the areas in which these companies were being shut down, completely down in Kaduna. My people live in Kaduna, in Kakuri. If a majority of them are textiles workers, majority of that place was booming. I stayed there, and I know the level of industry that was working. With all due respect, I had expected that by now, at least one or two of them will have been revamped. But when you go there, it's either the nuts and chisels and all of this particular metal that was in the country, they are being excavated by people. They are stealing them by the minute. So the companies are completely down. Not only that, they are completely crippled, almost going to an extinction. So some of our leaders that have this capacity should have started thinking, and how do I get this? Is the glory of Kaduna and Nigeria alike. Can you imagine if we are producing those textile materials in this country? The kind of people that would have gone back to work to be productive, the kind of children, young boys and girls that would have been off the streets, the kind of income that would have been making in Kaduna as a place and the nation in general. But unfortunately, the area was not even looked at all. Yes, I heard that there was supposed to be some kind of a heavy loan that was supposed to be given to the textile manufacturers. Nothing. Major problem of the textile industry is power supply, water, and other things that they will come in that will be used as a mix, marketing mix that will be used in producing things that they need. That has not been provided. The Chinese, who were supposed to be major partners of the country now, who are the major leaders in that textile industry, are no more there. It's unfortunate that we don't have thinkers anymore, but we have people who are plunging us into debt and all of those ones. That's the one that is reigning. I find it so difficult, it's so painful that the Kaduna textile industry, up to now, I was thinking that it would have been one of the first things that Governor El-Rufai would have attacked immediately, because he would have helped him so much, because he would have had majority of his people employed. But unfortunately, they are not thinking towards that for any reason. We don't know why. But it is disheartening, and that is what is happening around the nation. Not only in Kaduna, around the nation completely. That all those companies that you know that have been in existence they are already down. Even if you go to Lagos, you find the same thing. In Enugu, you find the same thing. But why? That is the question you will put to our leaders. Why? Where your people will earn a living, you are not even looking at that particular area. Why? Why are you being voted for in the first place? And I know everybody is somebody who is intellectually endowed with capacity. And these are the areas I think he would have made his government more robust. But unfortunately, for reasons best known to him, he has not even looked at that particular area at all. It's sad, even though we can say that there's some other industries that have been open. Some of these OLEM and all of those ones have been open on the road to Kaduna and all of those ones. But the major industry that have made Kaduna a very popular state is that in the textile industry. Please, Mr. Governor, face that area, even if it's the only beginning of good thing that you will do for Kaduna people that will make them more comfortable. Please and please, face that textile industry.
All right, Dr.
The last one who mentioned about our divide position,
yes, Ogunwole.
I agree that we are having challenges, and I can tell you, as a member of the National Peace Committee, which was led by former head of state Abdulsalam Abubakar, I was a member of that particular committee. And I had the privilege of meeting both the former president and then the present president. And we have had series of meetings with them. And immediately after the acceptance of losing or winning this particular, what would you call it, contest of presidency, we were the first to, some part of the people that were, as a group, to meet with the present president. And I remember with nostalgia, the first thing I told Mr. President, one-on-one in the presence of General Abdulsalam Abubakar, Archbishop Onayeko, Reverend Martin Skuka, Bishop Martin Skuka, our Lordship, Justice Chikeji, and all of those ones were there. And I said to Mr. President, sir, this is your opportunity to put this country in a roadmap of greatness. We are already divided. This is about 5 years ago. We are already divided. We needed you to put this country together and unite us. carry people from your own, from in your cabinet, technocrats, cut across this country. Carry political parties along, those who do not even believe in your leadership. Carry them along. Carry Nigerians, irrespective of their religion, tribe, and creed. Carry them along. Put them together to form a think tank that will unite this country. That would have put you not only in gold, but in diamond. This was my word, and they can attest to it. Anybody that was there can attest to it. Unfortunately, those words were not being carried. We will have at least started seeing majority of the unity that every one of us yearn for. Look, we are together in this country, whether you like it or not. A Hausa man has married an Igbo man. A Hausa man has married a Delta woman. A Delta man has married a Hausa woman. An Igbo man has married, I have them in my family, they married an Igbo woman. A Fulani has married a Yoruba person. And a Bibiu and all, we are already interlinked in marriage. So we are together family-wise. Even if you decide to divide this country, you cannot move without getting to each other's place one way or the other. So whether you like it or not, we are together. We only need to come together again and salvage the situation and make it better.
Oh, Dr. Yunus Otankwo, would like to thank you for coming on the program this morning. Thank you.
God bless you.
Thank you.
God bless Nigeria, Kaduna, and God bless Nigeria at the same time.
Thank you. That was Dr. Yunus Otankwo. He's the Publicity Secretary of the National Consultative Front, a new movement that is out to, with the concerns of Nigeria and, of course, saving Nigeria. We'll come back with perspectives tomorrow. I'd like to thank Dorcas for connecting us with the people. Good morning.
Listening to Invicta 98.9 FM, Kaduna, Nigeria. You know you want to.
Musanya ya musikaratu. Musanya ya musikaratu.
Kashi ina ɗalibai marasa hali har da masu hali wanda suka ci jarrabawar samun tallafin karo ilimi ganin cewa gwamna Malam Nasiru Ahmad El Rufai